4 lines 8 to 9 and line 41. Katy.
Conference. You'll not be surprised to hear that I'm speaking in favour of this motion. Anyone in this hall who doesn't want to stand up for civil liberties clearly got on the wrong train and meant to head for Brighton next week or Manchester the week after. I want to talk particularly about CCTV cameras and their potential for misuse. I want to tell you about a shocking incident that happened recently in my constituency of Glasgow North, which shows that fears about a Big Brother state are not liberal scaremongering, but real, justified and happening right now. The 2008 CCTV Code of Conduct says the public expects CCTV to be used responsibly with effective safeguards. Maintaining public trust is essential if its use is not to become increasingly viewed with suspicion as part of a surveillance society. The campaign to save Wynford's 2 primary schools hit the headlines back in February when some parents staged a sit-in protest against the Labour Council's plan to close them. We built a close relationship with the residents as we fought alongside them, and Vince Cable even came in person to show his support for the campaign. But Labour ignored the protests, and the schools closed at the end of term on the 26th of June. As one last, final symbolic act of defiance, about half a dozen parents occupied Wynford School, once all the children had left. I received a call the following Monday from Bill, the chair of the Residents' Association, worried that the cameras the Housing Association owns and are paid for by residents to protect their own homes from crime had been turned towards the school. Only after complaints to Cube Housing were the cameras turned back towards the flats. But residents had been without their protection that they pay for 3 whole days. Coincidentally, the CCTV control room used by Cube Housing is the same as that used by Glasgow City Council for their own cameras. On contacting the council to justify use of cameras they don't own, they claimed they'd got permission from Cube Housing, but we suspect they only spoke to a caretaker. As to why, they first claimed it was for the parents' own safety. They then said it was to monitor potential trouble. This was clearly ridiculous, as the protest was entirely peaceful, very small, and highly unlikely to cause a disturbance. We are still trying to get a proper response from the Council and have now put in a Freedom of Information request. I am calling today on Glasgow City Council to refund the £530 cost of 3 days' use of cameras they don't own to the residents of the Wynford estate. It is completely unacceptable for a public body to use cameras which have been put in place to protect local people to breach the civil liberties of members of that same community. Think back to the Code of Conduct. Were the cameras used responsibly? No. Were the safeguards effective? No. And is their use now viewed with suspicion by local residents? Yes. That is why I'm supporting the motion's call for a Royal Commission into the use of these cameras. I want to leave you with a quote from the Irish politician John Curran, speaking in 1790 on liberty and vigilance. He said, "The condition upon which God hath given liberty to man is eternal vigilance, which condition, if he break, servitude is at once the consequence." By this he did not mean the eternal use of CCTV cameras.
Thank you very much indeed.